Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting edition of News Generation. My name is Akesi Moke and coming up, students of the Kwame Nkrumah City of Hope School in Tema study under trees. We find out why.
What?
We'll give you some education on the meningitis outbreak and the World Health, all coming up now. Please stay with us.
News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid. We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vitarid.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only Cowbell with Vitarid puts you on the fast track.
Welcome back. Now remember you can get interactive with us on our social media handles at Facebook on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh and on Twitter at newsgengh. When one talks about schools under trees in Ghana, usually a deprived community somewhere in the hinterlands comes to mind. So for a community within a metropolis which was even judged as the 2015 best district in Ghana, it comes as a shock to see its future leaders struggling under trees to study. Join News Matilda Wemega finds out why Kwame Nkrumah's City of Pride and Hope Tema is hosting some of its pupils under trees.
It's a Thursday morning. It's time for the second lesson of the day at the Tema Community 7 No. 2 Junior High School. Right under this almond tree, candidates preparing for this year's Basic Education Certificate examination are being taken through an integrated science lesson.
What?
Teaching and learning under this tree is a daily routine, at least for now. With no desks to put their books on, pupils struggle to write and at the same time concentrate on the lesson. The school, with a population of about 200 pupils, take their lessons in turn under this tree. This is because of the deplorable nature of the classrooms and the lack of space to have lessons. The one-story classroom block has not seen any rehabilitation over the past 20 years. The roof of the classrooms appear to be ripping off and the ceilings are falling apart. The structure can best be described as the one that poses death threat to occupants whenever it rains. Each classroom takes a maximum of 30 pupils. One may wonder what and how the other lessons which demand practical works are being handled. In this age, when information communication technology is key in every sphere of life, the school has no computer or science laboratory to aid in its practical works. The thoughtful IT teacher brings her personal laptop to the school to support them with practicals. Imagine an ICT teacher without a laptop. The pupils may never see a computer, though they will take a paper in the BEC.
Violence has been ongoing between the people of Agogo and Fulani herdsmen for years now, and nothing has been done to resolve the conflict. The native accused the Fulani herdsmen of raping their women, killing their men, and destroying their farm produce. Now the natives want to fight back and sack the herdsmen from their town. Let's find out what some of you think of this situation and how it can be resolved.
I heard that there was a fight going on between the citizens of Agogo and the Fulani herdsmen. This problem has been a crisis that has had Ghanaians cringing in fear for quite a while now, and even though the case went to court and everything, not much was done about it. I heard on the radio that the Agogo police force was limited. They had only one car and they served all the districts there, so it wasn't possible for them to drive out the headsmen. And I also heard that some of the residents were saying that the headsmen should be driven to the Afram Plains because it's mostly desolate area, and they should tax the owners of the cattle to buy the land and then maybe start an encampment for the headsmen, their wives and children and the cattle, so they won't disturb the people as much. They should provide shelter and food for them so that there will be no need for them to cause distraction, because a lot of lives have already been taken.
I think that the owners of the cattle and the Fulani herdsmen, they shouldn't have gone to Agogo because they are not the owners of those lands, and they should have bought their own land and reared their cattle over there, because this has led to the death of a lot of people, and if something is not done, it is going to become a serious conflict and many people are going to die.
First of all, the violence is creating more problems. It's senseless because basically the MPs are the one who hired the Fulani herdsmen to take care of their cattle on pieces of land, and they haven't paid for any particular pieces of land for the cattle or whatever livestock to graze on originally. And right now, apparently, the Fulani herdsmen are very violent, and they are armed with pistols and will kill you instantly if you try to attack them.
Well, the government shouldn't let the people take the law into their own hands, because usually, in most cases, when people do that, it ends up with more chaos than they started with. So I think that perhaps the owners of the cattle should be identified and that they should be taxed according to what their flocks and the herdsmen need, so that areas can be designated for all of them, so that there will be peace and there won't be any struggle.
The people should not try taking the law into their hands, because they are not the lawmakers. And also, if they are not the lawmakers, why should they even take the law into their own hands? And also, the court which has ruled that the police should go and help them, they should also have people to ensure that the police ensure that they are evacuated from the area.
I think that people should be driven away, but the government should give them an isolated area where they can build cattle kraals for them to rear their cattle there.
I don't think it's right for the people to take the law into their own hands, because they could just end up making matters a whole lot worse. It will infuriate the herdsmen, and they'll also want to retaliate, and it could turn into a full-out war.
I think that they should not retaliate, because most of the Fulani herdsmen are armed, and if they do this, a lot of people will die, and it will lead to a serious crisis.
It wasn't right for the Fulani people to come in the first place to start harassing them. It's not like the headsmen asked and then maybe the people refused and didn't give any suggestion before they went. They didn't seek permission and they went ahead. So yes, I think it's right.
The people shouldn't retaliate and try to fight against the Fulani herdsmen, because if they were violent and vile enough to kill anyone who just tries to approach them, then if there was a war between the Fulani herdsmen and the people of Agogo, we all know who would win, and the much problem that it would create. The murder is going on too much, and there's a lot of pandemonium in the area, especially since apparently Nana Akufo-Addo was supposed to have his 40th anniversary celebration, and because of this they cannot celebrate that. Right now they should just find all the MPs who have hired the Fulani herdsmen and force them, if necessary, to find pieces of land that their cattle can graze on.
It's been an interesting week in local news. Let's take you through.
Police in Accra closed down some major roads in the capital to traffic temporarily on Friday, February 5. This was done ahead of the Night of Bliss crusade at the Black Star Square. The crusade was organized by founder of Christ Embassy, Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, who arrived in Accra on Wednesday. Some roads around Seko, Laboni, Osu were closed down for the day. Over 200 science teachers and laboratory technicians in the country have undergone training to improve their teaching skills. The teachers were selected from some second cycle schools as part of government's effort to address shortfall in science and mathematics education. Representative of the International Training Education Consultant, Graham Dane, urged the participants to effectively impart their knowledge to their students in order to bring the needed change. The Wa West District in the Upper West region has recorded 15 suspected cases of pneumococcal meningitis. 3 of the cases were confirmed positive and 1 death has been recorded. Wa West District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Basilia Salia, disclosed this at the 2015 annual review meeting of the district at Wichel. Dancehall artist Shatta Wale has applauded Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Nana Oyeletha, for her performance to his hit song Kai Kai on his Facebook page. The performance of the song by the minister was the high point of her plush 50th birthday bash held last Saturday. The party was at the Labadi Beach Hotel in Accra and was attended by family and friends.
Meningitis has been trending for a while, and here are some important things to know about this disease and how you can prevent it.
What is pneumococcal meningitis? It is an infection that causes swelling and irritation or inflammation of the membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. It is caused by the Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria. Bacteria is spread through coughing and sneezing. It can also be transmitted through kissing or using anything that has come into contact with the mouth of an infected person. Signs and symptoms include severe headache, fever, vomiting, stiff necks, coughs, and chills. How to avoid pneumococcal meningitis? Avoid overcrowding. Drink enough water to prevent dryness of throat. Avoid sharing things that come into contact with the mouth. What after effects can pneumococcal meningitis cause? Brain damage, learning disabilities, and deafness.
More stories for you after the break.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call VitaRich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with VitaRich puts you on the fast track.
Welcome back from the break. Well, what do you know about Dr. J.B. Dankwa? If you know very little about him, he's a member of the Big Six, the 6 great Ghanaians who fought for Ghana's independence. A book entitled Things Every Child of Ghana Should Know About Dr. J.B. Dankwa was launched in his honor. Here are excerpts of the book authored by Abena Asa Eji.
I was nursed and survived it. I went to school and finished it. I made a farm and reaped it. I carried cocoa and sold it. I went to work and clerked it. I arrayed the classics and winnowed them. I tried government and shared it. I tried matric and failed it. I tried twice more and passed it. I crossed knowledge and absorbed it. I dined for law and devoured it. I reached dead station and bypassed it. I much scribbled and styled it. I hate politics and noise. I hate politics and noised it. I dyed my hair and stopped it. I espoused the truth and published it. I gospeled a youth and gave them faith. I colored my state and edged it. I wooed the golden lady and engaged her. I visioned Greater Khan and slaved for it. I field research and natived it. I entertained family and paid for it. I stood up to the English and preferred them. I denounced evil and annoyed it. I encountered Pilate and he washed his hands of it. I kept the golden rule and embroidered it.
How our country came to be called Ghana. In 1934, JB traveled as part of a group led by his big brother, Nana Seferiata, to London to hold some meetings with the colonial government about the future of the Gold Coast. The trip did not go as planned. The British were not too interested in changing the ways things were run on the Gold Coast, in the Gold Coast. However, when their meetings were over, JB did not leave London. He stayed for 2 more years. And guess what he did whilst he was there? He spent his time reading a lot of books, trying to find out whether the people of the ancient Ghana Empire were related to the Akan people. He said his research proved that the people of ancient Ghana were related to the Akan of the Gold Coast. And he determined, therefore, to fight for the name Ghana to be adopted to our independence.
For purely cultural reasons, I conceive that the Gold Coast, a proud little country with a good reason for being proud, will never, can never, and shall never be proud of a university.
The Zika virus has been found in the saliva and urine of some patients in Brazil. This week, the World Health Organization declared the Zika virus outbreak as a global health emergency. Health experts are concerned the virus is spreading wider and faster, heightening the fears across the Americas. The world is talking about the spread of Zika virus.
Health experts are alarmed that the virus is spreading at a faster rate. The United States recorded its first case this week. The virus has been linked to cases of microcephaly, in which babies are born with underdeveloped brains. The World Health Organization's alert put the Zika virus in the same group with Ebola. This suggests research has to be hastened to deal with the virus. About 4,000 cases of microcephaly has so far been recorded in Brazil alone since October 2015. The means of infection is through mosquito bites, but health experts are investigating other possibilities. The World Health Organization says its priorities now is to protect pregnant women and their babies from the mosquitoes spreading the virus. There are no vaccines or drugs to stop the virus. This means the only way of avoiding the virus is preventing yourself from being bitten by the mosquito carrying the virus. Experts are advising people living in affected areas to use repellent to prevent mosquito bites and also seek advice from health officials.
Let's catch up with some more stories in International News Round.
Africans in Bangalore, India are living in fear following violent attacks on them. The attack started after a Sudanese driver ran over and killed a local woman. An enraged mob attacked a Tanzanian student, beat him and set her car on fire. The students there say they have lodged a complaint with the police. The Sakurajima volcano on the island of Kyushu in Japan has started erupting, throwing lava and ash into the air in spectacular style. The smoke lit up the sky with bolts of lightning caused by tiny pieces of rock, ash and ice rubbing together and making static electricity. Sakurajima's last major eruption was in September. This area of the country sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire and has more than 100 volcanoes. The Ring of Fire is an area where earthquakes and volcanic eruptions happen a lot. Back in August, a 16-year-old found a gold bar while she was swimming in a lake in Germany, and now she gets to keep it. The teenager found a gold bar worth over £13,500, 2 meters underwater in Lake Kenigsee. Police say that as nobody had come forward in 6 months to claim the gold, the finder gets to keep it. John Terry is leaving Chelsea Football Club at the end of the season. The defender says he's not being offered a new contract with the Blues. Terry joined Chelsea when he was 14 years old, and he has won 4 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, and the Champions League. Hundreds of people have gathered in South Africa to try to break the Guinness World Record for the largest parade of kite surfers. More than 400 people took part in the beach spectacle in Cape Town. The current record of 352 was set at a similar event in Spain. According to the event organizers, the record was broken with a total of 415 super surfers riding the waves.
Well, that's all for this edition of News Generation. Remember to catch us on our social media handles at Facebook on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh and on Twitter at newsgengh. Well, until next time, bye!
Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.